Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to our latest webcast that we're bringing you from Travel Weekly. And I'm absolutely delighted to be joined today by Christian Verhounig, the CEO of Ambassador Cruise Line, and also Phil Gardner, the Chief Commercial Officer. Hi, gentlemen. How are you?
Hi, Lucy.
Hello.
We're doing extremely well.
Yeah,
excited. Just
I
in
bet
front
you
of the
are.
naming ceremony.
Exactly. So you guys are joining me today from Newcastle. You're on board your second ship that's joining the fleet. So tell us, we're hours away, aren't we, from your naming ceremony? So Christian, tell us what's about to happen.
Well, we actually have, those people that are closest to our heart on board, because we have 350 guests here for a sneak preview to enjoy the hospitality. We have all our friends from the media here, as well as our business partners, suppliers, and contractors. So we are going to have a massive celebration and having the fun of welcoming the second lady of the sea, Ambition, which is going to serve as a premium value no-fly cruise line, 8 ports out of the UK.
Wonderful. Well, look, before we go any further and we talk to Phil for a second, guys, can you just take a little step to the side so we can see where you are? You look like on the top deck there, I imagine. It looks like you've got the weather. You've got the weather for it, Phil.
Yeah, we absolutely have. We have been quite blessed actually. It's been a wonderful day, and we've had an amazing atmosphere up here on the open deck because everything's ready. Everyone's having a drink, chilling out before the big night this evening. So yeah, it's been a really great atmosphere, I have to say. It's been lovely.
Okay, so you've got so just remind us, you've got Shirley, Shirley Robertson, the double Olympic gold medalist. She's your godmother. So what's going to happen? She's going to name the ship in a glittering ceremony. Is that right?
First of all, I think it's important. Why Shirley? Because on the end of the day, as you know, we as a team are trying to take decisions for the long-term sustainable, and we have a massively dedicated team throughout the business. And basically, normally you see those kind of dedication and efforts only in sports, and this is why Shirley was such a fitting godmother for the ship, because she was competing. She won a gold medal in 2 consecutive Olympic Games. And she obviously, being a sailor and one of the most recognized pictures there. So she is going to name our Ambition tonight. Yeah, we are going to smash the bottle, of course. Yeah, and she actually has some very nice surprises for our friends from the media and from the trade prepared already.
Okay, well, this is a theme, isn't it? Because of course, Sally Gunnell named your first ship Ambiance. So I guess we're going to get more ships beginning with A, named by more athletes in time. Perhaps that's the theme. But Phil, tell us a little bit about Ambition, because, well, sorry, we just want to know a little bit how many passengers she has. Just remind people the size of the ship and what she's going to offer to your market.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we're bringing what I think is an amazing product actually to these regional departures, as well as some activity. And what you have here is a quite an intimate feel. Our brand presence, if you like, in the market has always been focused on wanting to primarily go after what we refer to as a premium value on the mid-size ships. We have roughly 12 to 1,250 guests on most of our sailings. That's what we work to on this ship, so slightly smaller than Ambience, but we've got some fantastic furnishings and decor on here. One of the things that I like the most is that we've thought very carefully about the naming of different areas on the ship, because they pay homage to the various regional departures that we have. So we have things like the Angel Bar, which gives a reference to the Angel of the North. We also have things like Pendennis, which is reference to a castle down in near Falmouth, and this is a theme for all the ports throughout the ship. We've really embraced the idea of sailing from regional departures, and that's probably my favourite part of the ship. Actually, it's that connection to the regional ports, and the connection that we have to all of the travel agents that work for fantastic sales in those areas. It's a fantastic way of engaging with the trade community.
Reaction been, Phil, to having all these regional departures, because it is something that's quite unique to you guys, and it's something that I know you've just mentioned with the word regional about 4 times. It's obviously really important, but what's the agent reaction been to that, and how has sales been going?
Oh, it's been incredibly positive. We've been overwhelmed with it, and to be honest, the best reaction that we've had wasn't just the launch of this to the market, which we did in May last year. It's been more the recent launch, because, you know, a second year of sailing on a particular vessel, that's your real test. And, you know, we had a launch just a couple of weeks ago at the end of April, which beat all of our records. And actually Ambition took a very healthy share of those sales, you know, and in particular, actually, we're sailing obviously from the port of Tyne and picking up in Dundee on this forthcoming cruise. And those two areas in particular have been really, really strong for us. And we've been delighted with the results, you know, to be able to have, you know, such a strong performance year on year in what has been for many people a very difficult year of trading. You know, we couldn't be more pleased with it. It's gone phenomenally well.
Yeah. And how about the start of this year? Everyone's talking about cruise being, you know, on the up. All the agents I'm talking to saying that cruise has been a real high performer for them for Q1. Have you seen that as well through your trade partners?
Yeah, we have. I don't think cruise is yet fully bounced back. And I think a lot of people are recognizing that it's on the rise, coming back to those pre-pandemic levels. And in fact, I saw some recent numbers on this published by Clear that showed that I think 22 was 1.7 million for the UK. And obviously we were closer to more like 2 million pre-pandemic. I have no doubt that we'll get to that. In fact, I'm very confident we'll beat it. We look forward to playing our part in that. We've been really pleased with the amount of support we've had from the agent community. I think there's a lot of demand for a no-fly ex-UK regional program, and we're delighted to be able to offer it.
Yeah, and obviously you target very much, and you're very proud to target the over 50s market. And has that been a really good market for you, given the, you know, cost of living crisis, but people saying that perhaps that more mature market is slightly outside of some of those challenges?
I do think it's more resilient. Yeah, I think we talk to a market that has a different outlook on, you know, the way they spend their money and the way that they approach holidays. You know, it's a very different demographic, and I think it's probably more resilient to some of those challenges than other areas. And yeah, we obviously want to continue to offer something which we believe is quite unique with our premium value cruise, and we believe that this is something which is going to continue to be really attractive to people. And I think you're right. I think that the demographic that we talk to holds its own more steadily, I think, than other areas of the market, and that's obviously really positive for us and for the travel agent community.
Yeah,
And I think
sorry,
to add on this as well, I think what we are seeing, we do see that guests actually don't see holiday as luxury anymore. They see it as a necessity. And I think with our positioning in the premium value area, we actually see an influx of people who say, you know, I want to go on a holiday. I may not go to the top end of the market, but I still going to go on a holiday. And just having the product mix right and having the right mindset and the right community on board is what they're looking forward. And I think we're taking actually massive benefit from exactly this positioning at this moment.
Yeah. So are you seeing any particular trends in terms of your customers maybe traveling for longer durations, or are they traveling in more groups? So, I mean, is there anything that's been sort of particularly pertinent that you've noticed in your booking figures?
Yeah, there is. I mean, probably the most important change that we've seen year on year is the demand for more shorter sailings. And we've played right into that with our new season. So we've ended up having quite a lot more cruises that are 15 nights or less. That seems to be what the market has been asking us for. You know, we spend a lot of time talking to our guests. We have a very close relationship with the people that we service on board, and you know, a lot of who we spoke to, you know, gave us a very clear view that actually, you know, what's working well in a difficult market is some of those shorter sailings. And so we've put a lot more of those on from both the regional departures and also from Tilbury. So that's probably the biggest change that we've made to the program year on year. And you know, the initial sales that we had with the 24 launch show that was absolutely the right decision.
Yeah. And what's happening with pricing? You know, is that, I know you said you don't think cruise is quite fully recovered yet. Do you think pricing has recovered to those 2019 levels? Because I know it had been a little bit soft for obvious reasons. What's happening that you're seeing?
No, honestly, no, I don't. I think if we were let me answer the question from a market versus what we're seeing, because I think they might be slightly different. I think if you'd asked me that at the end of last year, I might have said yes. But then I've seen what a lot of the bigger cruise lines are doing with prices in the market. It's extremely aggressive in lates. And I think, unfortunately, that's the nature of, you know, having perhaps, you know, some of the bigger vessels with such big capacity where ultimately, you know, lower prices are needed to fill ships. That's not really the market that we play to. You know, what we want to do is make sure that we're talking about our product, talking about what we consider to be an affordable quality, which means that we have a relevance in the Leyds market, not driven by price, but driven by an affordable quality with the service that we aim to surpass people's expectations week in, week out. That's our objective.
And given that you're a relatively new cruise line, how have you managed to get this message out? And, you know, where are you getting your customers from? Are they moving from other cruise lines? Are they moving from land-based holidays and giving you a try? Or where, you know, where are the bulk of your customers coming from?
I think you've got to consider that in our first year, you know, we have quite a good mix of sales across both the trade and from the direct side. And I think a lot of that is because, you know, there's great belief in what we're trying to set up. And so to directly answer your question, I think the level of trade engagement that we've undertaken is on the rise. You know, we are constantly increasing the size of the team, which is something we've done very recently. We've put a lot more energy into the team now, and I think that will be noticed with the engagement that our trade partners see. So on the one hand, I think that there's a lot more that still can be done and still can be seen. You know, we are, as you say, relatively new, so we're on the journey, but we are still quite near the beginning. I think that's quite a key point. You know, there's a lot of opportunity here, and I think being able to put forward a product that people can believe. You know, I'd encourage anybody to look us up on things like social media forums. You know, we have a very, very positive recommendation set where, you know, 9 out of 10 guests are saying they want to sail again and they'll recommend to friends. And, you know, to be at that level this early on is something we're really proud of.
Yeah, you absolutely should be. And with all these repeat customers, Christian, you know, I'm going to ask you when the next ship is coming, because it's always the question I ask Christian whenever I get a chance to interview him, because he's always got something up his sleeve. So, I mean, you're probably not going to tell me that exactly today, but the plan is, isn't it, to grow this fleet?
But we would not call it our ambition if we would not have massive ambitions this year. This has always been like this. Demand basically we dictate, yeah, but what we are seeing right now, and, you know, to give you an idea, we have 30% of our guests which sailed in the first year of operation have already rebooked with us. So we have a product right. 9 out of 10 guests are basically recommending us to their friends. So we see this business growing. We will add additional vessels for sure. And when the time is right, as always, you will be one of the first to know.
One of? What?
Yeah, I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
But I guess the climate for you, Christian, I mean, I'm not in the world of buying ships, but obviously we've seen through the pandemic lots of the larger lines, you know, offloading some of their older tonnage perhaps quicker than they might have planned to. So there are more ships for sale. So I guess you've got a bigger pool to fish in.
We will look at it when the opportunity is right, which doesn't mean that we are not looking already.
Okay, all right. Well, I am trying. I'm getting nowhere. So, but you would not expect me not to ask that. All right. Now, listen. I'm conscious of your time. I think we're literally hours away from your naming ceremony. But just remind us, where does Ambition go on her maiden voyage, and just give us an idea of the itineraries.
She's leaving Newcastle tomorrow, having a dual pickup on Saturday in Dundee, and going on a 14-night cruise down to the hidden gems of France and Spain. And, you know, it's one of 60 itineraries we're offering this year with both ships, covering 220 nights. So I think there's something there for everybody to watch.
Yeah, and this is all like no-fly cruising. Do your customers want you to do a fly cruise program, or are you just very happy with the no-fly option?
Well, you know, to give you an idea, I think last year we were talking about airports and the issues guests have at airports, which is continuing this year. Actually, we're in Newcastle today, and many guests have promised to come here because of train strikes. You know, as it looks like, we will need many more boards in order for guests to walk up or drive up and sail with us. So this is clearly a demand for them. Here in Newcastle, you arrive in the port, within 10 minutes, you're in your cabin and you're on a holiday. You know, how much more effortless you can enjoy your holiday and your precious time. So this is clearly what we are concentrating on.
Well, the weather isn't always like that in Newcastle, but
here the sun is shining. So you know, what can I say?
Of course, because you're there. All right, listen, gentlemen, I'm so sorry I'm not with you. You know I would be if I could be. You know why I'm not there. But I wish you all the best for today. I know you've got loads of people there, as you said. You've got trade partners and the media. I hope you get lots of coverage for the launch. Please send us all the pictures. We'll be very happy to publish all of that. And we just wish you all the best with ambition, but also ambiance and any other ships to come as you grow this brand. We wish you all the best.
Great.
Thank you, Lucy. Lovely to speak to you.
Thank you very much.